Bible. I think this actually comes from coming into politics later in life. Outside of politics, most of the time, most people at home or at work see a problem.
In today's video, we discuss a dramatic moment that unfolded during a live radio broadcast featuring Labour leader Keir Starmer. What happened when listeners were given the chance to directly challenge him on his policies? Let's dive in. Keir Starmer, the leader of the UK's Labour Party, has faced a lot of pressure in the media recently, but during a live radio broadcast, he encountered a direct and powerful reaction from listeners that he wasn't quite expecting. Known for his calm demeanor, Starmer's usually smooth communication style was tested as he came face-to-face with harsh criticism and tough questions. It was a moment that grabbed headlines. Starmer appeared on BBC Radio 4's Today program, a major platform that provides the Labour leader with an opportunity to showcase his party's vision. But this time, the situation was different. Listeners were invited to call in live, and the questions poured in. But what happened next stunned many across the UK and left Starmer facing an uphill battle to defend his position. Keir, I have to be honest, I've voted Labour for years, but I feel like your party is losing its way. Under your leadership, it seems like you're only reacting to the Conservatives instead of offering a clear vision for the future of Britain. Why should I continue to support a Labour Party that is just going along with the status quo? The first question hit hard. For many listeners, it's not just about opposing the Conservatives. It's about offering a real alternative. Starmer's leadership has been criticized for not providing a strong enough opposition, and this caller was voicing concerns shared by many in the electorate. I understand that frustration. It's never easy when you're in opposition, but we are pushing for change. We are proposing practical solutions on issues like housing, healthcare, and climate change. The Labour Party under my leadership is committed to making sure that we stand up for working people and provide real alternatives to the Conservative government. Starmer tries to defend his stance, but the response felt a little too scripted for some listeners, who were expecting more than just general promises. It was clear that his words weren't enough to convince everyone. You say you're offering solutions, but there's no energy in your message. People are struggling right now, and we need bold leadership, not someone who sounds like they're reading from a policy manual. Why can't you inspire people like previous Labour leaders did? The criticism continued to grow. It wasn't just about the policies anymore. It was about Starmer's lack of enthusiasm. Previous Labour leaders like Tony Blair and even Jeremy Corbyn were known for their ability to energize their base. But Starmer's leadership style has often been seen as more reserved, more cautious. I'm passionate about making this country better. I'm not here to be a populist. I'm here to lead responsibly, to build a strong economy, a fairer society, and to restore trust in politics. My leadership might not be about loud speeches or flashy promises, but I believe in delivering real, sustainable change. Once again, Starmer tries to make his case, but the call for a more charismatic leader lingers. Many voters feel disconnected from his approach, especially at a time when the country faces a cost of living crisis and growing inequality. Keir, with all due respect, it seems like the Labour Party under your leadership doesn't know what it stands for anymore. You've moved away from the left-wing policies that many of us voted for in the past. Are you leading the Labour Party towards the center, or are you abandoning your roots entirely? The third listener's question cuts to the heart of the issue that many Labour supporters are grappling with. Since becoming leader, Starmer has taken the party in a more centrist direction, which has alienated some of the more left-wing voters who were inspired by the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn. It's a fine line between appealing to a broader electorate and risking the loss of your base. That Labour's values are clear: fairness, equality, and opportunity for all. What we are doing is updating our policies to meet the needs of today's world. Our goal is to make Labour a party that works for everyone, not just one group of people. Yes, we need to be in touch with the real-world concerns of voters, and that includes tackling the climate crisis, creating jobs, and rebuilding public services, Starmer is determined to frame his leadership as forward-thinking. But for some listeners, his answers were not enough to reassure them that Labour still represented the working class. As the radio show continues, the atmosphere becomes more tense. Starmer, once the confident leader of the opposition, is now clearly struggling with the volume of negative feedback. His attempts to justify Labour's centrist direction seem less convincing with each passing minute. But despite the mounting criticism, Starmer does not back down. Keir, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Many of us supported Jeremy Corbyn because we believed in his vision for a fairer society. Under your leadership, Labour feels more like the Conservative Party, but with a different color. Why have you abandoned the promises of the past? This was a brutal blow. Corbyn's legacy looms large in the Labour Party, and for many voters, his policies represented hope for real change. Starmer's decision to distance himself from Corbyn has been a controversial one, and the criticism of his abandonment of Corbyn's supporters continues to sting. Jeremy Corbyn was a leader who believed in his principles. But we are now in a different political landscape. The country has changed, and so must our approach. I respect Jeremy, but my focus is on uniting the country, not dividing it. Starmer's message here is clear. He wants to distance himself from Corbyn's radical ideas and appeal to a broader voter base. But for those who remain loyal to Corbyn, this answer likely fell flat. As the broadcast comes to a close, Starmer finds himself under more pressure than ever before. The criticism from listeners was severe, and it's clear that there's a deep divide within the Labour Party. Starmer's leadership may have brought stability, but can he win over the hearts and minds of the people? This live radio broadcast revealed the growing discontent among Labour voters. Keir Starmer's attempt to move the party towards the centre has left many feeling disillusioned, and the calls for stronger leadership, clearer vision, and a return to Labour's roots are becoming louder. What does this mean for the future of the Labour Party? Only time will tell. What do you think of Keir Starmer's leadership? Do you agree with the listeners' criticisms? Or do you believe he's doing the right thing for the future of the Labour Party? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.